All right. Again, salutations, my Mgtow brethren. This is part 2 of Tom Leykis versus Kay Heimowitz. Here we go.
That's enough for a lot of guys.
Huh?
That's enough for a lot of guys.
It may be for a lot of guys. I actually don't believe that it's that enough for most guys.
It was enough. It was enough that you had to write this piece. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that this is.
Now wait a minute, Tom. Most of the child men will marry. And I said that at the end. Most of them will marry, and they will.
Okay, let's skip past this part. But again, to reiterate what I was saying, notice how she says, "Well, yeah, but in the end, most men will get married." No, increasingly, that's not happening anymore. And remember that this interview is, I believe, it's probably at least 15 years old. And in that time, we have seen what have we seen? The marriage rate has dropped. It's fallen through the floor. So again, this is another point that she's bringing up where she's wrong. In point of fact, no one's getting married anymore. Moving on.
Have kids. That's what tends to happen in this world, despite the existence of child men in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah. Please don't call me a child man. BS. Okay.
Yes, but by the same token, if a guy waits until he is a doctor, is a lawyer, is an architect, has a practice, has money, has funds, buys himself a house, he has insured himself against divorce, where a woman can't take his house away, where a woman cannot take half of his law practice or half of his architectural practice.
Okay, let me interject right here. So in case you guys don't know, if you get married to a woman and then you buy a house and then you get divorced, she can legally take that house. And they lie and say, oh yeah, 50-50, she's going to get 50, you're going to get 50%, it's right down the middle. No, she ends up getting everything, especially if there's children. But if you buy a piece of property before getting married, you have secured yourself against her taking that house, because if you guys get divorced afterwards, you keep the house. It's not hers. So keep that in mind.
Where a woman cannot take what he has, and on top of that, and in the way we would normally say it on the program, if you wait till 35, 40 to get married, you can still marry a 23-year-old.
Okay, continuing forward, I want you gentlemen to notice how whenever she's confronted with an inconvenient truth or something that she finds to be unsettling, she has this kind of laugh, this sort of nasty, nasally laugh. I want you to notice that, because I actually think that women, they know that men are catching on, and they're actually becoming nervous. Dare I say it, I actually think that some of these women are on the verge of starting to panic. And I think Kay Heimowitz is sort of, what's the word I want to use? I don't know, like the canary in the coal mine. Like this woman had the foresight to see what was coming down the pipe before most women did. All right, moving on.
Well, you're really confirming what I wrote, or rather the inspiration behind my piece, which is that women are pretty unhappy with you child men, and you can.
Okay, who cares if women are unhappy with us so-called child men? And again, can she please stop calling us child men? Right? I mean, I am a grown man. You don't have to call me a child man just because I refuse to get married. I refuse to get married because of the laws. The laws are skewed against me. But again, she's going to call us a child man, right? It's a simple, it's a shaming tactic. She's going to shame us, okay? It's an attempt to manipulate us, okay? And manipulation is a form of, deceit. So she's lying to us, okay? This is a manipulation tactic. So excuse her very much.
See why? In other words, here you are at age 40, having a good old time, and they're looking for husbands. And where are you? You're looking at the 23-year-old.
Okay, well, when us men were 23 years old, those same women would not date us because they were 23 when we were 23, and they were dating the 33 or 43-year-old orthopedic surgeon who was making $250,000 a year. Well, now it's our turn. And then when these women get older, they want, they're old hags. These are like spinster, women, and they're just like, oh no, where are these men to marry us now that we're over the now that we're hitting the wall.
Right, well then, again, it's, should I be making myself available to some woman to start dipping into my bank account or taking up space in my home for tchotchkes and knickknacks?
No, but what kind?
Okay, there it is. There's the crux, right? There's a big point right there. Notice how he said, should I be allowing a woman to dip her hands into my bank account? So money. And notice how right away she gets defensive. Oh no. But later on in the interview, she openly admits that it's about money and that women are interested in marriage, and then he even gets her to admit that she believes in alimony, and even though that there is an argument to possibly overturn or get rid of alimony, she explicitly states that she believes in keeping alimony in place. So in fact, she does care about the money, even though she just said right now that she doesn't.
Companionship do you want in life? Do you want to have just a trophy wife who, will look pretty and young and make you feel young?
I've gotten beyond the desire for a trophy wife. My companionship is my friends, my guy friends. That's my companionship. Women are not there for companionship or conversation. They are there to provide, whether it be arm candy or sexual pleasure or occasional entertainment.
Okay, I got something to say about that. I completely agree with Tom Leykis. I didn't know this when I was younger because I was totally brainwashed. Women, they're like a one-trick pony. They really are. They're only good for sex, but they don't want you to know that. Once you figure that out about women, they lose most of their power. Moving on.
As I said, I have a stripper pole in my home, and then the rest of the time, if I need to talk about politics or books or the election, I talk to my guy friends about that.
Well, I don't know exactly what to say to that, except
she doesn't know what to say to that. She knows it's true, but she doesn't know how to debate this issue because even though it's true, women don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that that's what they're good for. They're good for sex and reproduction. Besides that, they're not really that much fun to hang out with, and they get real bitchy, right? And they get real moody, and now they have more rights than you do, so whenever they get upset, if something goes wrong, if something goes sideways, they could call the police and you will go to jail. So why live with them?
Yeah, I think that if you look at the surveys, of young people, what do they want? What do they look forward to in life? They do expect to find companionship with the opposite sex, and you may be the exception to the rule. You sound like a very bitter man.
Well, it's not that I'm a bitter man, because in fact, I as I tell the audience.
Okay. This is a great point to bring up right now. Notice how she deflects. Okay, this is classic. This is called a fallacious argument or a fallacy. It's a false argument. Notice how she says, "Oh, you're a bitter man." No. That's called an ad hominem attack. Ad hominem. It's from the Greek. It means to the man. It basically means when you can no longer debate the issue because you're wrong, you come up with this phony argument to validate what you're saying. An example would be like saying, "Oh yeah, don't listen." She's attempting to invalidate his argument. An example would be like saying, "Don't listen to Tom Leykis because Tom Leykis is short," or "Don't listen to Tom Leykis because Tom Leykis is fat." It doesn't matter if Tom Leykis is fat or short. Can you stay on subject? Can you stick to the subject at hand? No, she can't. And you know why? Because she's wrong, and she knows that she's wrong.
I'm the happiest I've ever been today. I have been through divorces. I had prenups, so I didn't get dinged too badly, and I didn't have children, so I didn't get dinged too badly. And I'm not an alimony payer, and I don't believe in alimony. And so from that standpoint, I don't really have a lot to be bitter about. I'm on good terms with the people I was married to in the past. I just don't see why I should be appropriating my resources to them.
Yeah. Well, again, as I said, I think that for most people, they look forward to some kind of strong, very powerful connection to.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there for this second part. Yeah, she keeps reiterating, they got to have this connection. But when you get closer and closer, when you boil it down, she keeps getting closer and closer. She finally admits that connection that she keeps talking about, it must be through a legal contract called marriage. And without that, according to her, men do not reach this level of psychological development, and so she gets to call us child men, and it's all BS. It's all manipulation. Anyway, I'm probably going to make a third part because this is a pretty good one. All right, I'll leave it at that. All right, bye now. Mgtow up.